you've got some like pretty crazy startups that you joined very early and like a history of doing this early, like Asana, Carta, Astro. Like, what do you
Astro, you got it.
what do you attribute to your ability to spot these up and coming companies? And what advice do you have for marketers in picking potential unicorns, being a solo marketer or like a one person or a small team of marketers at these types of companies? Like, what do you ask people in interviews? What do you do
Yeah,
for spotting these?
like 17 questions in one, but I'll do my best. Um, so look, like, I'm gonna caveat by saying that there's a lot of luck and great timing involved. And so anybody that tells you otherwise as an investor or as someone who's worked in a number of great startups is lying. Like there's a ton of luck and timing involved. So like I conveniently went to business school like right after the 2008 kind of downturn, which that was a great time to hang out at business school. Like that wasn't my plan. It's just the way it worked out, but it worked out well. And by the time I came back and started working at startups in 2011, things were back on the upswing. And I stopped working at startups right before COVID and started like my own thing, which I missed a lot of the marketing mess and turnover that's been going on over the last few years or downsizing. So there's a lot of, again, luck and timing. But I think for me, it's like the same things that I use to pick companies and, select where I wanted to give tons of my time is actually like we've evolved it a little bit, but a similar framework. I didn't know it was a framework at the time, but a similar framework to how me and my partner Kathleen invest in companies now, which is that we think there needs to be a great product. There needs to be a product that if you were in the target audience, you would want to use it and recommend it. It doesn't need to be something you use yourself, but it needs to be something you would recommend. You need to be in a great market that you think can grow. Like there needs to be a great team, but they also need to be able to win on the go-to-market side. So, uh, a lot of non-marketers overlook that. But even as a marketer, like you need to make sure that the company is going to care about marketing, that there's an easy way to accelerate marketing. We call these marketing advantages now. I didn't call them that then, but whether there's like a network effect or a really interesting story to tell, or just like a lot of like room to just like really crush it on SEO or partnerships or channel or whatever it is. I promise that's the only time I'll say crush it on this podcast. I apologize. Um, so, I was always like looking for, well, like, can they win on marketing too? And can I help them win? Like, it's not like, do they have a leg up here? And so, and also like my first startup, like I just liked music. So I worked at Ticketfly. I wanted to go to a lot of concerts. I went to a lot of concerts and, uh, that's what I wanted to do. And they ended up getting acquired by Pandora and then later spun out of Pandora and acquired by Eventbrite. So they did pretty well too. Um, and so that was just kind of like, oh, I thought this was fun. I wanted to work on
Mm.
something that was close to my heart. And then I think I quickly learned after that that like maybe some of the things that you love doing as hobbies, it doesn't need to be like your job too. And so that's when I went like total B2B and went to Asana. Um, but Asana, I saw early traction. I saw that it was a great product and I saw it was a team who knew how to win across the board. And I had a really great mentor there who was the COO. We didn't have titles, but in theory was the COO. And had led marketing before. So he wasn't in the role of marketing, but he was managing me and had like tons of advice and mentorship. So I just felt like I was set up for success and the company was set up for success on the go-to-market side as well. And then joining Carta, they have a network effect that's pretty incredible. So if you throw fuel on that fire, you could grow even faster. And so those are some of the things I look for. But I think for marketers like joining companies, I think, again, like a lot of these things I can look back in hindsight and say, but, people are like, I just want to love the product. And I'm like, like, again, if you're not necessarily going to be in the target audience, but talk to people or relate to people who are in the target audience. And like, if you wouldn't use it, then don't do it. But it doesn't necessarily need to be something that you love, because the thing that's even more important than that is like, are you going to work well with this team? Are you going to work well with this founder? Do you want these founders to win? Do you feel like they're going to value marketing? Because so often companies don't value marketing and you're just set up to fail. And then additionally, like, can they win? And so like, you got to be thinking like an investor when you're picking startups, because you're giving this all of your time. Time is money. I won't say that again either, but you're investing all of your time, which if you wouldn't invest in the company with your money, you shouldn't invest all your time there. And I know
Yeah.
that that's easier said than done, especially now where it's like hard to find marketing roles. And so maybe you can't
Mm.
do that every time, but as you accelerate in your career and have more optionality and when timing's a little bit better, it's important to say, like, is this something that can win? Because that's what propels your career.